Hi, this is Cecilia, and I am so happy to share with you this my first project as Graphic 45 brand ambassador. It's so nice to be back, and I hope that I can inspire you to create with these amazing products. My first project is to make something like a kind of well, not album exactly, but you will be able to add some pictures, but it's seeds and flowers keeper. And let's see what can we make. Okay, let me tell you what I am going to use for this project. I'm going to be using this amazing Cottage Life paper collection. I'll be using the 8x8. I'll be using the ephemera assortment, also the journaling cards, as well the chipboards, maybe one or two of them, some stickers, and also we will need the square ivory tag album, this one. I will be making some flowers with this large tag, ATC tag and flower metal dies. But if you want, Graphic 45 already have the flowers already made, so probably I'm not sure yet, I'll be using this tag and pocket die. I already pre-made some policy dies. This is the policy and decorative dies, and I made those with vellum. Okay, I have here 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. I'm not sure if I am going to use only the 14 or maybe less or more. Okay, we'll see. I'll be using also the square tag and clock metal dies to match my tags. All right, we are going to need a piece of fabric, and this one measure about, we of course are going to cut roughly a little bit more than a 4 and 1/8 by 10. Okay, some cream cardstock. You can use the last paper that is in Graphic 45 patterns and solids paper pack. Okay, and the last sheet is a cream one. Okay, so I already cut my hinges, and you need to cut from these 7 pieces that measure 3.5, no, these are 1 5/8 by 3.5 tall. Okay, in the short side there is 1 5/8. I already score at a half and 1 1/8. Okay, and to decorate the hinges, I already used from Sweet Rambles. I cut 7 pieces that measure 3 7/16 by 9/16, and I'm going to put it in this way. Okay, so that's the first thing that I'm going to do. Okay, I already finished embellishing my spines, but I want to add something to hold these beautiful envelopes, because inside, my idea is to put inside the seeds and the dried flower. Okay, and then we are going to make a nice closure for each one, but I want something to hold it, and I was thinking, and I had this idea. We are going to cut a piece of cream cardstock that measure 9.5 by 2. Okay, in the 9.5 side, we are going to score at a half an inch, 4 3/4, and 9. Okay, now let's crease this in this way, and here I have my little flaps, you see. Okay, now here I am just going to measure. I'm going to measure from one side at 3, no, 1 3/8 of an inch, okay? And then I'm going to make my mark here. This is 1 3/8. Now you can see here it's my mark, and this is a little space, and this is bigger. Okay, I'm going to cut here until my scoring line. Now I can remove the small piece, okay, in this way. Now we just want to cut in an angle here and here. All right, now we can crease perfectly these two lines, okay? And I'm going to use my crocodile. I'm going to use the 1/4 round side just to round here where I remove the piece, okay? This will be my bottom, so I'm going to do it in both sides. You see, I have here my flaps, and my bottom corners are rounded. All right, now this needs to be here, all right, in this way. So we need to make some measurements, but I'm going to do it in the back. Now we just need to try to find the center here, about 5/16. Yes, it's going to be about 5/16, the center. And then we can trace our line, and here we already know where to cut. You see, this is centered, and from the bottom to the top we made our mark at 1 13/16, and then from here to here there is 1 3/8 of an inch. Now to cut this, I like, because we are going to add these two pieces inside, and we want to be able to move it to both sides. So I'm going to cut first in one side, then in the opposite side of this line, and then just cut, make a tiny cut in the top and in the bottom to open a little space there, okay? We want to try our best. And now we can remove this. You see, in this way we are able to put this inside, and I'm going to try first to see if this fits. Yes, it fits perfectly. Okay, but first we need to close this using a little bit of glue here. And now remember, this is going to be in the bottom, so you want to put it in this way, okay? And because this is quite long, we are going to cut just a little bit, about 1/8 of an inch. I think will be enough. That's perfect. Okay, and now we can add the glue in both sides, and we are ready to stick this here. Okay, the package has nine tags, and we are going to use 8, but if you want to add more, you just need to add more of this as well, okay? 1 per page. I'm telling you how many you need just for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages, and these two are going to be covers. Okay, so now we need to attach this piece here. Okay, we need to align the tags. Okay, and when this is ready, we can make our pencil marks. You see, in this way it's going to be easier to attach these pieces. And always remember the pocket is in the bottom. Okay, before we make so much pressure, we can check if they are aligned, and yes, that's the best way. So I want to join all of this, and the best way to do it is add the glue on the flap. And now we just need to align it and follow this and align it here perfectly. Okay, you see, now we have that one. This, it's going to be here in the back. Let's add this piece here. In the back, of course, and align it with the rest. To attach here. My spine is already dried, almost dried, but it's enough dried to make my next measurements, and I want to tell you what it's the next you will need. I'll be using a heavy cardstock. This is 285 grams cardstock, and this piece measure 6 3/4 by 4 1/4. In the long side, you are going to make the first scoring line at 1 1/8, and the last one it's going to be at 5 7/8. Inside these two scoring lines, I already score every 1/8 of an inch, okay, because we want to be able to move it in this way. And now we can crease these sides. Also, you will need 2 pieces of chipboard. You can use, this is a 1.5 millimeters chipboard, but you can use the chipboard the Graphic 45 has on the store, and this measure 4.5 by 4.25. Okay, you need 2 pieces. Let me remove this. Now remember, this is the 4.5, so I'm going to make my marks. This is going to be my top side because it's almost the same measurement. Okay, and now what I am going to do is stick these pieces in the outside of the chipboards. And it's important when you stick this, put this never on top of the scoring line, just in the side. Okay, just exactly at the side. Okay, now we just want to check if this fits here inside, and you can see it fits perfectly. Okay, now we need to add a piece of white felt. A piece of fabric. Mine is this soft pink. Okay. Now here we need to cut not like this, but like this, and then we just come to this side, start on the top, this is almost dried, and I just cut a little piece of fabric to stick here inside, just in case this could be show. was planning how to decorate a little bit, and this is my idea for the back cover and the front cover. Let me explain you. I just cut 2 pieces of light chipboard that measure 4 3/8 of an inch by 4. Both measure exactly the same. And then I just use this paper to put it here. This has a little bit of the cardstock and just a little piece of this paper. I want it on the back as well. Okay, and in the front the same measurements, but now with this beautiful paper, and I will be using this card, this chipboard piece, this my happy place, and this is going to be here, and I want to tie everything with this piece. Now we just need to stick these pieces in here. The clip where I showed you how to attach the spine to the covers was damaged, but it's really simple. Just stick the tiny flaps that are left in both sides of the pages to the cover and back cover, but you need to stick them exactly on the chipboard, not on the spine, and that's it. Now, what I'm going to do here, okay, I cut strips of paper that measure 6 1/4 by about 1 by 1 3/4. You can cut wider if you prefer, but my idea is because I wanted to use some clips to make this without damaging this delicate paper. In this way we can close, and this it's going to be really close, and we can embellish, which we are going to do using some of these gorgeous die cut assortments. For example, look at this, how beautiful this looks. Yes, I like this here, for example, and it's easy to pull in and to pull out. Okay, let me tell you how I did it, because I already made 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, and 11. We need to make 3 more. Remember, we have 14 of these envelopes. So let me tell you. First, we are going to score the long side at 1 3/8. And when I am making, this is a tip, when I am making a bunch of the same thing, for example, these embellishments, I always made my pencil marks here, and when I finish I can erase those. Okay, so 1 3/8, 3 3/8, and 5 1/8, and we are going to crease, watching that this is aligned in both sides. Okay, you can see here I have a small flap and a larger flap. Okay, and we have this at the center. Well, it's not exactly at the center, of course, in this way. Now I'm going to use this crocodile that has the scallop. But if you don't have this, you don't have to buy this. You can just cut in an angle or use it a rounded crocodile, or just leave it like that. Okay, so I'm going to use this because I have this and I love it, because now this looks as a tab. Okay, let's repeat. I'm using the regular standard size clip, okay, which measure, let me tell you, but I think it's the same measurement everywhere, not just in Mexico. 1 1/4 long. Okay, 1 1/4 long. So I'm going to start with my long flap, and I'm going to introduce my clip with the long side on the back. This is the long side and this is the smaller. Okay, the small side is going to be in the front. Now what I recommend you here is to use, oh, I didn't use this here. Let me do this. And remember, don't do it in here, it's just in this side. Okay, all right. Now what I recommend here is to use some bottle with a fine tip, and just add a little bit of glue. Here you can see, here is my scoring line, and I am just adding a little bit. And now we just need to press and be sure this is a stick. Okay, before we continue, crease, crease, crease to be sure it is completely stick. Now I'm going to use this to add a little bit here and a little bit here. Okay, it's about from the scoring line. Okay, let me check, just a half an inch from the scoring line to the bottom. Okay, and now we need to introduce this here, and it's just a little bit tricky, but you are going to curve a little bit here, but don't crease it, please. And when this is here, you just need to add a little bit of glue in the tiny flaps. Okay, just a little bit, and then just move it in here. I just move it with my fingers here. Okay, and now we can press to be sure it is a stick. Here maybe we need to wait and crease. Okay, I already mat everything, because that is something that you can do without any specific instruction. Actually, this tutorial is to explain you how to make all the structure. Okay, let me show you quickly. Here I use this gorgeous ephemera assortment, just to add more dimension here. Some small laces, you can skip this if you prefer. Okay, now Here I just cut with my cream cardstock pieces to mat for picture here, okay? And I added some dimension with a chipboard just to stick the picture in behind this, okay? Now, because this was not enough paper, this one I added this, and so something here to write will be great. Now let me show you, because I am really happy. I use my Cottage Life stamps to stamp, and I use this saltwater taffy, but of course you can use the graphic 45, and I just add ephemera assortments and some laces, and that's it, okay, to decorate this envelope.